So you want to know where to get iron in Valheim to make iron weapons and armor. Well, here's a quick guide. Just drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and let's begin. Step 1. You must kill the second boss, the Elder Tree. I've made another guide linked below on where to find him, how to summon him, and how to easily kill him with literally no skill required. That video is linked below in the description. Step 2. After you've killed him, he will drop a swamp key. You need this to mine iron ore, but first you need to find the swamps. Since everybody's map is randomly generated, you'll probably need to craft a boat and sail far out from the center of the map to find the swampland. If you watch my guide on how to get bronze ingots, you'll be able to craft yourself some bronze nails at the forge. This will then unlock the ability to craft yourself a Viking longship. And then you can go ahead and build a carve, which is much better than a raft. So I go ahead and build that and jump aboard. You guys will recognize the swampland as soon as you come across it because it just looks like a swamp. And then if you go ahead and look on the map, you can see it's this kind of brown, dingy, muddy sort of area. You're going to have to travel quite far away from the center of the map to actually come across the swamp biome though. You can't actually transport iron or iron ore through portals. So you're going to need to store it in a boat in order to transport it to and from your main base. Step 3. We need to find the crypt. As you're exploring the swamp biome, you will randomly come across crypts which look like this. But the crypts all have iron gates on, so you can't actually access them unless you have killed the second boss to obtain the swamp key. Once you have the swamp key, you can actually open these iron gates and access the crypt. These are spread all over the swamp, by the way. They're really easy to find if you just look out for those green glowing lights in the distance. So as soon as you enter these places, you'll find muddy scrap piles, and they're usually blocking the entrances to the rest of the dungeon. So there's one here and there's another one over here. Now if you mine these muddy scrap piles, you'll actually get scrap iron, which obviously you can use to make iron ingots. As you can see, we now have scrap iron. Now for each one scrap iron you get, you'll be able to make one iron ingot. Now there are tons of draugr in these dungeons as well, so what I suggest in order to actually kill them is to clear the top of the muddy scrap piles like this and just make a slight gap. And then what you can do is you can use your bow to actually kill the enemies inside this area without them being able to come through and kill you back. So I can see there's a draugr over there. I actually just snuck attack him and it instantly killed him in one hit. And I can see there's another guy just over here hiding from me. So let's hold down a shot and fire. And then we can take him out as well. Now, if you are in here with a melee character, I recommend bringing a shield and using a mace. I'm using a bronze mace, which I'll link how to get in the description below. But all of these draugr enemies are weak to mace weapons, so blunt weapons specifically. You can see here there's a body pile. You're going to want to destroy this, otherwise it will constantly spawn enemy draugr to kill you. Now just to double check you don't miss anything, look on the ground and you can see if I highlight scrap pile, it will actually tell me I can still mine this just here. Just so you make sure you don't miss anything. Now as you can see, just out of those 2 scrap iron deposits, I've got 7 scrap iron. I can throw the stone away because I don't need it. Some areas of the dungeon are also going to be flooded, so make sure you have full stamina before you enter them. And in these chests, it's possible to get upwards of 20 iron scrap ore in one location, which is absolutely nuts. If you didn't know yet, by the way, one of the most important things you should learn in the game is how to parry someone, which is basically blocking just before they're about to hit you. So this draugr, for instance, as soon as he's about to swing, I'm going to block him, and that's actually going to stagger him, allowing me to do even more damage to him. There's also another chest here, and you guys can see it's actually got some chains in it. Now, chains are really useful for building forge bellows and other types of furniture, so make sure you grab those. So as you can see, I've not even cleared out half of this dungeon, and my pickaxe is actually already broken. It may be worth actually bringing 2 pickaxes with you. And just so you know, these dungeons are absolutely huge. For example, this is one room I'm mining currently. There's tons of scrap iron around here. But then it goes all the way back through here. There's some more over there, and then we go through here. And then to the left over here. And there's another way through there, or you can go back through here. I mean, you guys are getting the idea, right? Like, these dungeons can be absolutely huge. And they can be a little bit confusing to navigate. And now we're back at the entrance again. I've got another 15 scrap iron, but there's tons more to mine in this place alone. So as you guys can see, I've collected 20 scrap iron so far, but I'm almost over encumbered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this scrap iron on the floor next to the door. And then what I can do is I can carry on mining the dungeon and pick it all up later. Drop all your pointless stuff, so you literally just have 30 scrap iron, which will weigh 300 kilograms, and then you can exit the dungeon. And then you just need to go ahead and sprint all the way back to your boat. And then once you get back to your boat, you can go ahead and put all 30 iron ore in your storage. In total, you can hold 120. Since scrap iron and iron ingots can't be teleported, this is what you're going to need to do in order to take it back to your base, unless you build a new base in the swamplands. Which, is not, you can do it. As long as it's up a tree, it's kind of safe, but if it's not up a tree, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare and get attacked constantly. Now we have step 4. Now you've transported all your iron home, to go ahead and put all of the scrap iron that we gathered into our smelter like so. We can process it 10 at a time. Now I always recommend doing this at night time, because then if you just run away and go to sleep, come back in the morning and as you can see, all of our iron has now been smelted. Now if you don't know how to get the ingredients to craft a smelter and a charcoal kiln, check out my guide linked below on how to do that. As soon as you pick up that first iron ingot, you will unlock the ability to craft a full set of iron scale mail and graves and a helmet, iron head arrows, new iron weapons including the huntsman bow, an iron mace pick and nails, the iron tower shield and iron gates and chests. Now you have access to iron, you can actually make yourself a stone cutter, which is going to allow you to process stone and actually start building with stone. Now if you go into the building menu, you can see you've unlocked lots of new options. Stone staircases, stone floors, and stone archways and stone pillars, like this. So now you can start like this. So now you can start building a castle. So the first thing you're going to want to craft is a iron scale mail, which gives you 14 armor and iron greaves. In total, this will give you 42 armor rating and also look insanely cool. Also further upgrade the armor value by upgrading each iron armor and weapon that you craft. Now you've got full iron armor, I also recommend crafting an iron mace for the blunt damage against the third boss, because it gives you such a huge advantage against it. You can also completely block its physical damage with a kite shield as well. Check out the link in the description if you want a full breakdown on how exactly to beat the third boss next. Or if you want to hang out or join our server and live stream, subscribe with the bell icon as well. Hope you found the video helpful and I'll see you in the next one.